reminder to our graduates, please remain standing in front of your chairs. Once again, to all of our graduates, please remain standing in front of your chairs. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Gonfalons. Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Golden Terps. They graduated from the University of Maryland 50 years ago and have returned this afternoon to join the celebration. Welcome back to your alma mater, Golden Terps. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the ROTC commanders, athletic coaches, faculty, and staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the platform party for your 2018 Spring Commencement. Your attention, please, everyone. Please remain standing silently for the presentation of the colors by the University of Maryland Honor Guard and for the singing of the national anthem by Miss Zaida Culpepper Baldwin, a student in music performance, accompanied by the University of Maryland Wind Ensemble and conducted by Mr. Craig Potter.
Is this on? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Order. Post.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Presiding over these exercises is Dr. Wallace Lowe, President of the University of Maryland.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2018 Spring Commencement exercises of the University of Maryland. Commencement marks the start of a new chapter in the lives of our graduates. This ceremony is a wistful farewell spoken in words of endearment by the university to our graduates and by our graduates to their alma mater. We begin with a moment of reflection delivered by Imam Tarif Shraim, the University of Maryland Muslim chaplain. Please remain standing.
Last Friday, our nation suffered from yet another tragic act of violence that took the lives of so many innocent people at Santa Fe High School in Texas. To honor the lives of those victims, we ask that you join us in offering a moment of silence. Indeed, there's no better way to honor the precious lives we lost than by appreciating every moment we have and learning how to live when we are alive. So, as we gather here today, may we appreciate this very moment right now, which stands as the culmination of your accomplishments, the accomplishments of the 2018 graduating class at UMD. Today we express our deepest gratitude to our parents, teachers, and mentors, without whom none of us would be here. Today, let us understand that the degrees we're about to be handed are not trophies, but a call to noble and purposeful action, and that all growth and all accomplishment always happen at the frontiers of pain and discomfort. Our options are two. Either we comfortably stagnate or uncomfortably grow. Indeed, strong people are not fearless. They just keep pushing despite their apprehensions of an uncomfortable and uncertain future. Today, let us see that your job and my job is not to judge others. Our job is to wipe the tears, to lift the fallen, and to heal the broken. But let us understand that to be healers, we must be willing to struggle and to be inconvenienced for the rest of our lives. May we be filled with gratitude and with awe of our diverse and breathtaking Mother Earth. Let us walk on it ever so gently. Let us take care of it in the way it deserves. Honor the life-sustaining gifts it gives us, and appreciate the deep bond we have with everything in it. May we always be mindful that the thoughts we dwell on become us, and that everything you and I put out into this world is going to come back. Indeed, what you do unto others, it will be done unto you. Even more, it's already done. May we refuse to live indifferently, and may we commit to stirring those gifts that lie within us and in others. Because as soon as we begin to fill our lives with excellence, with care, and with compassion, others will be inspired and will want to follow us. May we live gratefully, and may we inspire and touch everyone and everything around us with our compassionate presence now and forever. Amen.
Please be seated. I know you're groaning about being seated, and I completely understand. Because as they say, sitting is the new smoking. Thank you, Imam Shraim, for your thoughtful and inspiring words of reflection. Thank you to Zaida Culpepper Baldwin for your inspired rendition of our national anthem. And to University of Maryland Wind Ensemble, thank you. Thank you to the University Honor Guard. As we begin the 2018 commencement exercises, I'm reminded of what a friend of mine, an Irish priest, once advised me when he heard that I was going to preside over commencement. He said, you know, to be the master of ceremonies at a commencement, well, that's sort of like being the body at an old-fashioned Irish wake. They need you to have a party, but nobody expects you to say very much. Mindful of that advice, I assure you, my words will be mercifully brief. So I begin by acknowledging the students who are seated in the front rows today. They are the marshals for commencement. They've been recommended and selected for their academic accomplishments, their contributions to campus life, and their service to the larger community. Would the students please stand and be recognized? You may be seated. To educate our 40,000 students, we have almost 10,000 faculty and staff. And some of the representatives of our faculty and staff are here to celebrate their accomplishments, the accomplishments of the graduates, and of course they're also here because they are part of the staff of the teaching faculty, our athletic coaches, as well as the commanders of our ROTC programs in Air Force, Army, and Navy. Would you all please stand and be recognized? I would also like to welcome a very special group of alumni, the Golden TERPS, because they graduated 50 years ago from this university. Would you please stand up and be recognized? Thank you for being here. And I should say a comment about the class of 1968, because every generation has its rendezvous with destiny, its opportunity to make its mark in the world. Those who graduated 50 years ago in 1968, at a time of perhaps the greatest division, tumult in this country in the second half of the 20th century. That was an era of political assassinations, civil disorder, the rise of the Black Power movement, the women's movement, the gay rights movement, the sexual freedom movement, and people thought that this country was coming apart at its seams. And people were asking, what kind of country will America be? And what will bring this country together? 50 years have gone by, and our republic still stands. You provided leadership, and I just want to remind the class of 2018. When you come back here 50 years from now, the year 2068, I want to assure you I will not be here. But I believe, I hope, my successor will ask you, what have you done at this time when the heart and the soul of our democracy is being challenged? What have you done? What will you do? What have you done to help forge a more perfect union, as stated in the preamble to the Constitution? And what have you done, as we have been doing for 242 years, the maxim that is engraved in the Great Seal of the United States, e pluribus unum, one formed from many. I hope you will be able to be greeted the way I'm greeting with appreciation the class of 1968. Our first speaker is Ellen Fish. She's a member of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. She brings greetings to our graduates, and she is the Executive Vice President of Hamilton Bank that has its headquarters in Baltimore. She's a member of numerous boards, including she is on the Board of Directors of the Maryland Chamber of Commerce. Regent Fish.
Good afternoon. I am so pleased to be with you today and to offer congratulations on behalf of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. It's an honor to share this day with President Lowe, who continues to provide tremendous leadership to this great institution. The University of Maryland is a force for education, for research and discovery, and for public service. It represents everything that is best about public higher education. And today, University of Maryland stands as one of the finest universities in the country and in the world. There is so much to be proud of here. I'm also pleased to share this day with your commencement speaker, former Vice President Al Gore, and I look forward to his remarks. Most importantly, it's an honor to be here to recognize and congratulate you, the members of the class of 2018. What you have accomplished has taken hard work, it's taken persistence and dedication. Today, we celebrate the completion of your journey here, but the beginning of your life journey. I know your family and friends take a great deal of pride in what you have accomplished. They have shared in your sacrifices, and certainly today, they should share in your success. You graduate from an institution recognized nationally and internationally for excellence. No matter what direction life now takes you, no matter what challenges you will next confront, you are well prepared. You've been given the foundation and the skills you need as you start this new journey. We look forward to your future successes, and once again, congratulations, and know that the entire University of Maryland system, the entire family, wishes you all the best in your future successes.
Thank you, Regent Fish, for your service on the Board of Regents. Thank you and the board for your continuing support for the flagship university of the state of Maryland. I would now like to introduce some of the members of the platform party who are seated behind me. And when I call your name, could you please stand? And I would ask the audience to please withhold your applause until everybody has been introduced. Otherwise, we'll be here all afternoon. Mary Ann Ranking, Senior Vice President and Provost, and a biologist. Linda Clement, Vice President of Student Affairs, and she has served this university for close to 40 years. Carlo Colella, Vice President for Administration and Finance. He is a TERP. He got his degree in civil engineering, and he's been at this university for over 30 years. Jackie Lewis, Vice President for University Relations. She just launched a week ago our third major capital campaign of $1.5 billion, the largest ever in the history of this university, and she's been here for 1 year. Laurie Locasio, Vice President for Research. She has a degree in toxicology, I believe, and she's also a bioengineer. Mike Potarella, Vice President for Legal Affairs and General Counsel. He's the one who keeps me honest. Where are you? You should know because everybody knows that I'm a lawyer. He's the real lawyer. I am simply a public service lawyer, which means it's in the public's interest that I do not practice law. Damon Evans, Acting Athletic Director. Joe Seligman, Associate Vice President for Marketing and Communication. There you are. And we have a student regent here, Will Short, who is graduating from the University of Baltimore. He has been a superlative regent as a student, and he's going on to work for one of those big finance companies. Which one is it? Where are you? Morgan Stanley. Yes, Morgan Stanley in Baltimore. Congratulations. Patrick Hogan, University System Vice Chancellor for Government Relations. And of course, you've heard Zaida Culpepper Baldwin, a vocalist. A.J. Pruitt, President of the Undergraduate Student Government Association, who's graduating. And Xu Han, who is Vice President of the Graduate Student Government, and he is a PhD student in public policy. Michelle Sauer, who is a senior from Minneapolis, and she will be the student speaker. Kirk Bell, President of the Maryland Alumni Association. He provides leadership for the 361,000 alumni of this university. Amy Eichhorst, the Executive Director of the Maryland Alumni Association. Dan Falvey, Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry and the Chair of the University Senate. And at this university, we are strong believers and practitioners of shared governance, which is basically academic democracy. And our marshals. The University Marshal is Martha Nels Smith. There you are. And you should know that Martha is a professor of English. She is a renowned scholar of Emily Dickinson. Why do I tell you that? Because there's just been released a feature film on Emily Dickinson based upon her scholarship. And it is entitled, I can't wait to see this movie. It's entitled, Wild Nights with Emily. I know you had nothing to do with the title. And faculty marshals, Marcia Gensler Stevens, the director of our fantastic stamp union, and Sherry Parks, professor and associate dean in the College of Arts and Humanities. Finally, will all the deans who are here please stand in unison to be recognized, because you will self-introduce yourselves later in the program. And now you can join me in a round of applause. Thank you. It is now my great privilege to introduce the University Medalist. The University Medal is the highest honor that this university can bestow on a single graduate each year. And it is awarded to the student who best personifies academic distinction, extraordinary character, and outstanding contributions beyond the major and beyond the university. It was a very, very difficult choice. We had incredible candidates. There's a selection committee, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 finalists, and I will recognize all of them, and one of them, of course, will be the medalist. So, would you all come forward? Where are you seated? Would you please come forward as I read your names? Just stand next to me. No, come up, come up. We want to see you. So just stand there. And I want the parents of these fantastic graduates. Would you please stand to be recognized? You know, just wave your arm, and hopefully we'll see you somewhere. Thank you. You may be seated. So, let me start with Carolyn Johnson. Come on, Carolyn. And you have to speak into the microphone. So, Carolyn, where are you from?
From Glenwood, Maryland.
Glenwood? Where is Glenwood?
Howard County.
Howard County. Yes, I know where Howard County is. And what are you majoring in, or majored in?
I'm doing a dual degree in government and politics and food science.
Wow, how do you combine government and politics and food science? What's the connection?
Well, I came in loving chemistry and cooking, and I decided I also wanted to pursue more in current affairs and the government.
Oh, and so have you done any internships, traveled abroad while you were here?
I interned at the U.S. Embassy in London. I've also interned at the U.S. Agency for International Development.
Now, you wrote an honors thesis with the amazing title, intriguing title of Iron Ladies. Can you just in one sentence say what that thesis was about? Sure, it was about
where female leaders and democracies come to power and what those countries look like.
Wonderful. Congratulations. So you get a gift. What gift am I supposed to give her? She's supposed to get a gift, but I don't know what gift to give her. So I assume that this is probably it, right? Okay. Yusuf Khan. Yusuf, speak to the mic.
Sure.
So, Yusuf, where are you from?
I'm from Potomac, Maryland, which is in Montgomery County. MoCo! Woo!
And what are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in cell biology and genetics.
And so I'm sure you've done some research in this area.
A little too much research, I'd
little
say.
So I heard that you've done some research that actually has some real practical impact on people. Can you just very briefly tell us what that research was?
So I've been working in the lab of Dr. Norma Andrews to study how leishmania affect a lot of people in South America and India, and we're about to send a manuscript for publication.
Oh, fantastic. So this could actually help people who are ravaged by this parasite.
Yeah. So this parasite, we figured out how they become infectious, and we figured out the signal. So if we can disrupt that, you can develop better therapeutics.
So what are you going to do after you graduate?
Well, I'll be going with Chris, who we're going to see a bit of in a second, to the University of Cambridge.
You know, and with how you've been supported?
So Chris and I both won the Churchill Scholarship. So that's a fully funded scholarship to Cambridge for a year. So we're going to have a lot of fun there.
Congratulations.
Thank you, President Lowe.
This is a special gift, a Maryland bow tie.
Thank you, President Lowe. Goodbye.
You should know I wear this all the time. During exam time, I go around, give out cookies, and one day, this was 3 years ago, a student came up to me and said, since you're handing out cookies, I want to give you a gift. And she gave me this bow tie. and I've been wearing it ever since. And I said, where did you buy it from? And she said, I make it in my dorm. She started a business making bow ties, and I have already sent over 300 customers to her. All right, next. Cassidy LAIDLAW. Hey, come on, Cassidy. So, where in Maryland are you from?
I'm actually not from Maryland. I'm from Barrington, Rhode Island.
Oh, all right. Now, I heard that when you came here as a freshman, you had already enough advanced AP credits that you could have graduated in just 2 years. But you stuck around for 4 years. Why?
I didn't want to try to find a job. But actually, it's been a great experience, and I just wanted it to keep going, so it took the regular 4 years and got in as many classes as I could.
And you majored in?
Computer science and math with a minor in Middle East studies.
Very briefly, how do you combine Middle East studies and computer science and math?
I guess I think that there's a lot of room to combine the technologies that are developed in computer science and math with the problems facing the world in the Middle East and other places, so I'm hoping to see if I can figure out how to do that.
And one last question. You're in computer science.
Yes.
Are you worried about the fact that there are foreign powers not friendly to this country? They're trying to subvert us on social media and, undermine our democracy.
Yeah, I think it's a real problem. Actually, 4 years ago, I did an internship where I was looking at Russian influence on Twitter, and it's amazing how many things go on there that you just don't realize if you look carefully.
Well, Cassidy, I hope you do something about it.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. ELLIOTT REBELLO. Hello, Elliott. So where from Maryland are you?
I'm from Lanham, Maryland, right here in gorgeous Prince George's.
All right.
Yeah, PG!
And tell us about your major or majors.
So I'm double degreeing in neurobiology and physiology and classical languages and literatures.
This guy here represents STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So how do you bring together the sciences and classical education? What's the value of classical education?
Well, I think the path to human enlightenment runs through our fellow man, whether that's our neighbor next door or the ancient Greeks and Romans.
And so during the course of your study here, have you also done internships or travel abroad?
I did. So my sister and I started a music scholarship program at a Bombay orphanage in India.
A music scholarship?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And now for the 2018 University Medal recipient, Christopher Bambick. It goes without saying that all of the people on the platform and many, many of the students who are marshals today, they have either perfect averages, meaning a 4.0, or they're near perfection, meaning 3.999. So I'm not bothering to mention that. But what is, so where are you from, Christopher?
I'm from Euclid, Ohio, outside of Cleveland.
Well, thank you for telling us where Euclid is. Now we all know. So you are majoring or majored in?
I majored in astronomy and physics, double degree.
This involves some research. Where have you been doing your research in astronomy and physics?
Yes, so I started out at NASA Goddard down the street in Greenbelt. Then I ended up at Boston University in Boston, Massachusetts. And then this past summer, I was at the Institute of Astronomy in Cambridge in the United Kingdom.
Wow. Woo! So I suppose you're going to Cambridge after graduation.
I will be. I'll be pursuing my MPhil, my master's in astronomy there for a
Well,
year.
congratulations on getting the very prestigious Churchill Scholarship.
Yes, thank you so much, President.
So we have to give you the medal. Oh, sure. We'll just, you have to take it. It is now my honor to introduce our student commencement speaker. And she is Michelle Sauer. Where are you, Michelle? Stand there for a minute. Okay. You know, every year we have a student speaker chosen by the graduating class. Michelle majored in English and education. It goes without saying that she has a 4.0 grade point average, and she tutored children in reading, and she tutored college students in writing, and the rest I will leave for her to tell you. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome all the members of the faculty and staff, proud parents and family members, and the graduating class of 2018. All across campus, we see the phrase, fearless ideas. It is easy to look past those familiar words and think nothing of them. As my time came to a close at Maryland, I reflected on what those words really mean to me. I'm not working on a cure for cancer or solving global warming. I am standing here tonight in front of thousands of you, but I certainly don't feel brave. So, what does it mean to be fearless? The first person to show me what it means to be fearless was my mother. When I was in kindergarten, my classmates were all learning how to read. But something about turning letters into words was just not clicking in my head. My teachers tried hard to help, but they told me that they were giving up on me. They said I couldn't. My mother said I could. She bought a bunch of books and spent the rest of the school year teaching me to read at home until I was reading Harry Potter books as a first grader. Not only did my mother teach me to read, but her belief in me made me confident enough in myself as a reader, so that in third grade, I argued with the skeptical librarian until she let me take home the book, The Hobbit. My mother showed me that being fearless means overcoming others' doubt in us that so often cripples our determination. It takes courage to overcome those judgments. Being fearless simply starts with refusing to let others define the limits of your aspirations. As the great and magical author and my inspiration, J.K. Rowling wrote, "Anything is possible if you've got enough nerve." While doubts of others can be very powerful, so can the doubt that comes from within. I found myself overcoming self-doubt at the beginning of this semester. As an education major I began my student teaching semester at a middle school in Montgomery County. The first time I entered my 7th grade English classroom, I felt like an imposter. I was still a student myself and was suddenly responsible for preparing my students for high school, yet I still occasionally asked my parents to schedule haircuts for me. How was I expected to get up in front of 120 hyperactive 12-year-olds every day, engage them, and motivate them to love the magic of the written word when half of them are struggling readers? It took almost every ounce of energy in my body to get them to stop poking each other with pencils. I used my knowledge from my Maryland courses and my work as a reading specialist to develop my students' phonological awareness as well as their orthographic and concept imagery. The year ended with students who had been unable to write a sentence, writing me page-and-a-half long stories. Students who had been afraid to speak in class, shooting their hands into the air, eager to contribute to discussions. And students telling me they had decided to challenge themselves with all honors courses in high school because they were done underestimating themselves too. By having the fearlessness to believe in my own abilities, I modeled fearlessness for my students. They would never hear that I am giving up on them, and hopefully I inspired them to never give up on themselves. In other words, refuse to be your sharpest skeptic. Refuse to let your dreams become your regrets because you did not have the fearlessness to recognize your true potential. Today, we see teachers across the country fearlessly reasserting the value of their work as they fight for adequate compensation and school funding. My mother was the first teacher who made a fundamental difference in my life. I have had strong teachers who inspired me to be a part of their noble profession, from Ms. Whitmore in 1st grade, who made me want to teach, to Ms. Brew in 9th, who helped me realize the capacity of language to move others and to create change. Here at Maryland, I had the privilege of learning from Professor Nunez, who pushed me to be fearless enough to successfully apply for a research award, or from Professor Olmert, who made me believe my ideas are just as valuable as someone with a PhD and 3 Emmys. Teachers are the bedrock of all other careers. Because all of us have had fearless teachers somewhere in our past, instilling their fearlessness in us, today we are off to start promising careers, to continue our education, or to explore the unexpected. Despite the challenges that accompany a teaching career, I chose to teach because I want to make a difference in my students' lives. All teachers have been haunted by the phrase, those who can, do, those who can't, teach. But just as doctors are valuable, just as engineers and journalists and actors are valuable, so are teachers. I say, those who can, do teach fearlessly. It can be easy to take the path we have always been told to follow. It may offer security or take less energy, but is that fearless? I did not want to take the expected path. I became a teacher. From this point on, we will face numerous decisions that will have an impact on our lives and the lives of others. Maryland has prepared us to make fearless choices, and from what I have seen in my fellow TERPS, many of us have already begun. Whether it be designing an app that raises funding for nonprofits, packaging nutritious food for expectant mothers, or advocating for safe schools, we are making fearless decisions that change our communities and our world for the better. We must continue to inspire others to be fearless by disturbing the balance, refusing to be comfortable, and by choosing to make the world a better place now that we've got a place in it. It is time, as Rowling once wrote, to choose between what is easy and what is right. Today, we celebrate a major milestone in our lives, our graduation. We will not let others underestimate us. We will not get in the way of ourselves. We will not let the allure of the expected path prevent us from walking down one that requires fearlessness. We will accomplish the extraordinary. When I first came to the University of Maryland, all the way from Minnesota, my dad could not get over how amusing he found the university's slogan, "Fear the Turtle." He wanted the funny phrase on every t-shirt and hat he proudly purchased in support of my education. Now, Maryland has moved on to fearless ideas. Although a fearless testudo remains our mascot, most do not think turtles are the bravest creatures in the animal kingdom. However, it is not the mascot that defines a school's identity. It is the students the mascot represents. It is not the turtle that shows the world who we really are. It is us and the fearless decisions we make as TERPS. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, for your wonderful remarks about the importance of teaching. And I know your parents and other family from all the way from Minneapolis are here today. Would you please stand up wherever you are to be recognized and wave? As I was listening to your remarks, and you mentioned a canard, and it really is a canard that those who can do and those who can't teach. But what you left out the third line in that canard, and those who can do neither become college presidents. And that is a canard. And you also brought to mind years ago when I was on a plane and I was seated next to a business executive who was telling me all about his mergers and acquisitions and business deals. And then he finally turned to me and said, "So, what business are you in?" "Me?" I said, "I am in the immortality business." He looks at me suspiciously. "You are a preacher?" I said, "No, I am a teacher. I'm in the job of unlocking the potential of the next generation of citizens and leaders of this country. And by unlocking their potential, that they can achieve all that they can achieve, they will impact their children, their grandchildren, and their children's children. The impact of a teacher stretches to eternity." So thank you. Now I have the pleasure of introducing a special student. She is majoring in voice Her name is Adia Evans, and she will sing. She will perform an aria, I Want Magic, from the operatic adaptation of Tennessee Williams's immortal play, A Streetcar Named Desire, adapted by an American composer, Andre Previn. Oh, and she's accompanied on the piano by, you'll have to introduce yourself.
This is Ruth Bright. Real, who wants real? I know I don't want it. I want magic. Magic, yes, that's what I want. That's what I try to give to people. I do misrepresent things. I don't tell the truth. But I tell what ought to be the truth. What it ought to be. Yes, magic, magic's what I try to give to people. If that's a sin, if that is such a sin, then let me be damned for it. Don't turn on that light. It'll all look so ugly in that light. Why not see by candlelight? Moonlight, starlight, they are bright enough to see by. Sometimes bright.
Thank you, Adia Evans, accompanied on the piano by Ruth Wright. Every year, a student commencement speaker committee chooses the speaker. And I would like to invite the president of the Undergraduate Student Government Association, A.J. Pruitt, to please come forward and introduce our speaker this afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Lowe, and I have to say, as a native of the great volunteer state myself, it is quite an honor to introduce our commencement speaker for today's ceremony, former Vice President Al Gore. In just a moment, we will watch a brief video that introduces some of Mr. Gore's many accomplishments. Most of these outstanding achievements are common knowledge to those of us in this room. Mr. Gore is the founder of the Climate Reality Project, a nonprofit focused on solving the climate crisis, and co-founder and chairman of Generation Investment Management. Mr. Gore was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1976 and to the U.S. Senate in 1984. In 1993, he was inaugurated as the 45th Vice President of the United States. As a member of Congress, Mr. Gore was an advocate for wielding technology as an engine for economic growth and improving the country's education system. As Vice President, Mr. Gore was instrumental in expanding the influence of the United States abroad and a pioneer of modern environmentalism. Since leaving public office, he hasn't slowed down. Mr. Gore has been a leading activist in the fight against climate change, work for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2007. Now, in many ways, Al Gore's life has exemplified what it means to be a TERP, to be fearless and to do good. We, as TERPs and as graduates here today, can all identify with that. Now please enjoy this brief video.
The House will come to order.
And the Oscar goes to?
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2007.
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Some still doubt that we have the will to act, but I say the will to act is itself a renewable resource.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Vice President Albert Gore.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that enthusiastic welcome. And A.J. Pruitt, thank you for your wonderful introduction. And President Dr. Wallace Lowe, thank you so much. I want to acknowledge the faculty and staff. I want to single out my dear friend Bob Orr, your Dean of the School of Public Policy, who I've worked with for a long time. And I enjoyed Michelle Sauer's speech. There are many distinguished guests here. Forgive me for mentioning only two. A dear friend for 40 years, perhaps the greatest head of a state senate in the entire country, Maryland State Senate President Mike Miller, and State Senator Jim Rosapepe. Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations to all of the graduates. What a wonderful achievement is being marked here. Deep thanks to the faculty and the staff, to your parents and grandparents who are also here, family members and others. In researching this speech, true story, I tried to remember who gave the commencement address when I graduated from college. And honestly, I have no idea who it was. And I dare say that will be your reaction years from now. This is an occasion, it has become the kind of occasion where speakers are invited to give personal advice, and I'm not in the habit of doing that. But I'm going to do it anyway, and then I'm going to say a few words about our American democracy, and then you would be surprised if I did not say a few words about the climate crisis as well. First of all, by way of personal advice, don't be afraid of failure. You've heard some wonderful words about fearlessness and nerve. You will encounter failure, but it's important to keep going. The great Spanish poet Antonio Machado wrote, "Traveler, there is no path. The path is made by walking." I can tell you from my personal experience, I flew on Air Force 2 for 8 years, and now I have to take off my shoes to get on an airplane. I'm now a recovering politician on about step 9. The longer I go without a relapse, the less likely one becomes. But I have been surprised and filled with joy to find work that feels to me as if it justifies every ounce of energy that I can pour into it. So it is what you decide to do with the obstacles that life throws in your path that matters the most. Secondly, among all the words of advice that I received when I was a student, there was one bit of advice that one of my teachers gave that has stuck with me all through my life. He said, "We all face the same choice in life over and over again. It is a choice between the hard right and the easy wrong." All of us know, if we pause and reflect, that there is that little voice that is faint but always there. It is always, always a mistake to ignore that little voice. Listen to it and distinguish it from the constant noise in your rationalizing mind. And as you practice, you may find it easier to discern the good advice that is always with you. Third, happiness is most often found in serving others. I know that sounds like a bromide, but there is voluminous research that now shows that to be scientifically valid. Fourth, avoid at all costs hatred and resentment. The greatest political leader I ever met in my life, Nelson Mandela, once wrote, "Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping that it will kill your enemies." Fifth, be kind whenever you can. One of the secrets of the human condition is that suffering binds us together. And you have no idea what burdens are being carried by the people you encounter in your life. When I think about regrets in my life, I don't have too many, but the ones that stand out, from time to time I think of them, involve a lack of kindness. Small exchanges. If I enumerated them, you would be surprised at how trivial they might sound to you. But I remember them. Now, a few words about our democracy. As President Lowe's comments about the class of 1968 illustrates, there is greater resilience in our democracy than we often fear. We have survived turmoil and division and grave dangers in our past. However, I have come to believe that American democracy is at this moment in much graver danger than many now assume. Our greatest hope I could elaborate, but we don't want to go there today. Our greatest hope lies with you and your generation. Now, I'm keenly aware that commencement speakers often say something like, "You are the generation that must go forward and redeem and save our world." And I know it's a cliche, but I want to put forward a challenge, however implausible it might sound. Because of the grave danger our democracy faces, I would like to challenge you and your generation to overturn one of the accepted truisms in American democracy, namely that young men and women between the ages of 18 and 29 simply do not register to vote and vote in the way that older people do. Think for a moment how you, I'm sure, like me, have been inspired by the high school students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. They are now campaigning to register young people to vote. I want to add my voice to theirs. I want to challenge you to do what so many feel is impossible. What if in this year and in the years immediately following, something truly extraordinary happened, that on social media and in conversations that you have with your peers all across this country, an American youth movement began and swept this country and grew with passion and determination to the point where young people decided that they will register to vote and will vote in unprecedented numbers and reclaim the integrity of American democracy. I remember when I was 13 years old being inspired by President John F. Kennedy when he announced America's determination to put a man on the moon and bring him back safely within 10 years. And I remember how many in my parents' generation said that was likely to be impossible. But 8 years and 2 months later, Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. And in the moment he did so, there was a great cheer that went up in mission control in NASA's facility in Houston, Texas. And the average age of the systems engineers in that room was 26, which means, among other things, when they heard that challenge, they were 18. They decided to acquire the skills and experience to enable them to be a part of successfully meeting that challenge. I know that it's unlikely. I know that it is implausible. But America has done the impossible before, and never has this been more needed than now. We have to reclaim not only the integrity of our voting system, but also the integrity of our system of democratic discourse. We have to reclaim respect for reason we have to reclaim the vitality of journalism and our news media. Today, we have a fifth column in the Fourth Estate. Organizations that pretend to be journalistic organizations, but which are actually propagandists with an ideological agenda, which often leads them to intentionally distribute falsehoods. We have the means to fix this problem, and fixing it is necessary in order to fix our democracy. Finally, I would like to talk about the climate crisis. I spoke on this campus 2 years ago about this challenge, and I want to tell you that in the intervening time, we have made tremendous progress. We still face a daunting threat in the relationship between humanity and our planet. There are now 7.62 billion of us on the Earth. We use technologies with power that vastly exceeds 1,000,000-fold the technologies that our parents and grandparents were familiar with. And we too often rely on a short-term way of thinking that numbs us to the future consequences of our present actions. In our economy as well, we fail to measure the full consequences of the choices we make. Pollution is described as a negative externality, which is economists speak for you don't have to worry about it. We are using our atmosphere as an open sewer, free of charge for those who dump 110 million tons of heat-trapping, man-made global warming pollution into it every 24 hours. We also ignore positive externalities, that is, the benefits of investments in public goods like education, like health care, like family services, like community services, like mental health care. We also ignore the depreciation of natural resources that replenish themselves naturally at a rate that is very slow compared to our assault upon resources like topsoil and groundwater and forests and wetlands, and perhaps most important of all, the web of biodiversity with which we share this planet. The fourth thing we ignore and do not measure is the distribution of incomes and net worths. So we have seen the most dramatic rise in inequality in modern history. And when most of all the new national income goes to the very top of the income ladder, this makes us vulnerable to resentment, makes our country vulnerable to the politics of authoritarian populism. We have to reclaim our own destiny by measuring what really matters to our future, starting with a decision to reduce the global warming pollution. The consequences, of course, are very clear. Since I spoke here last, Houston, Texas was struck last summer by a hurricane that dropped 5 feet of rain in 5 days. Imagine the full flow of Niagara Falls for more than 500 days. That's what Hurricane Harvey dropped on Texas and Louisiana. And soon after, Puerto Rico was virtually destroyed. And by the way, for those of us here who are Americans, we should see it as a disgrace that our country has not helped our fellow Americans in Puerto Rico. Every night on the television news is like a nature hike through the book of Revelation. And yet, some in the news media I referred to earlier do not recognize that these dots connect and put forth the false narratives that are designed to distract. George Orwell in the last century wrote this: "We are all capable of believing things which we know to be untrue. And then, when we are finally proved wrong, impudently twisting the facts so as to show that we were right. Intellectually, it is possible to carry on this process for an indefinite time. The only check on it is that sooner or later a false belief bumps up against a solid reality, usually on a battlefield." We are bumping up against a solid reality with the climate crisis. We have to adjust our thinking in order to make the adjustments to our behaviors, our technologies, our politics, and our decisions. Now, there is good news. We are making dramatic progress. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the single fastest growing job in the United States is solar installer. In fact, solar jobs are growing 9 times faster than jobs generally in the economy. The second fastest growing job is wind turbine technician. All around the world, we are seeing the beginnings of an historic transformation of the way we use energy, the way we pursue mobility and transportation, of the way we grow and distribute food, the way we preserve forests and soil. But these changes are not yet happening fast enough. We are gaining on this problem. And one of the great achievements, which Bob Orr had a great deal to do with, was the global agreement in Paris, in which every nation in the world agreed to go to net zero global warming pollution by mid-century. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, President Trump did make a speech last year. But under the law, the first day upon which the U.S. could withdraw from the Paris Treaty is the day after the next presidential election. Which brings me back to you. And I get it. There are, I know, a great many supporters of President Trump in this audience. I do understand that. As one of his supporters put it on television, he said, "The way I look at it, Donald Trump is chemotherapy for America." Well, in medicine and in science, some experiments are terminated early for ethical reasons. And I don't know that that will be the case, and I do not predict it. But I do know that whether you are a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, the salvation of our democracy, for those who support Trump or oppose Trump or those who want other candidates or not, the salvation of our democracy is with the American people, and most especially with your generation. So, in closing, I want to make one thing clear. I'm here to congratulate you. I'm here to thank your parents and your teachers and all those who have made this joyous day possible. But very seriously, I am also here to recruit you. Your generation has a mission ahead of it. I hope that you will find the will to succeed. And for those who doubt that you do, I will repeat that in America, the will to succeed is itself a renewable resource. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Gore. On behalf of the University of Maryland and the class of 2018, it is my honor to present you with this small token of our appreciation for your service and inspiring message today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much.
Of course, we're going to get pictures right over here.
Okay.
I now have the honor to bestow upon Vice President Gore the Honorary Doctorate of Public Service. Vice President Gore, would you please stand up? And Provost Rankin, would you please read the citation?
Because he has pursued a life of service, from the military to muckraking to decisive decades in public office. Because he imbued the vice presidency with a new sense of vigor and meaning. Because he left office with uncommon grace and confronted a planetary crisis. And because he has learned to look over the horizon while mastering the moment, his life of public service inspires our students to serve.
Under the authority granted by the State of Maryland to the Board of Regents, and by the authority that the Board has delegated to me, I am proud to confer upon Vice President Albert Gore III the degree Doctor of Public Service. Would you like to say a few words?
I already did.
All right. Well, thank you, Vice President Gore, and thank you for your prophetic voice. Your voice about the responsibility of millennials here today to save the planet and to save our democracy. Thank you so much. The late Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall said that none of us got to where we are solely on our own. As talented and dedicated as you are not entirely self-made. Somebody bent down, helped you put on your boots, taught you how to tie those shoes. And because that person or persons, you are here today. These persons who help you are, of course, in the audience. So this is what I would like to do to recognize them. Will take some choreography. So it has 3 parts to it. I will describe each part one at a time, and then we will try to orchestrate it. First, but don't do this yet, all the parents and family members who are here will stand up. After they stand up, I would like to ask the graduates to please stand up, face your family members, and cheer to thank them. And as they cheer, the band will play a salute. Can we do that? All right. First, will the family and friends of the graduates please stand up? Will all the students please stand up and cheer them? And the band will play a salute. Thank you. You may be seated. We now come to the moment that you've all been waiting for, when the deans of the respective colleges step forward one at a time. Each dean will introduce himself or herself, introduce the respective college with their usual flair and exuberance as befits the occasion. And of course, I invite all of you, the graduates, to stand up and cheer when your college is announced.
Will the graduates from the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources please stand up? And also, if we have any golden Terps, please stand up. Well, good afternoon. My name is Craig Beiruti, and I'm honored to serve as the Dean of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. We're proud of our place in history as the founding college of this land-grant institution, or as we affectionately refer to ourselves, the university's cornerstone college. We've come a long way since 1856, honoring our over 160-year heritage while growing and adapting in an ever-changing world. As our newest graduates, you represent the next generation of agricultural professionals, land stewards, food scientists, environmentalists, conservationists, and future leaders in research, education, and outreach. You'll be at the forefront of eliminating global hunger and malnutrition in the face of a changing and unpredictable climate, developing sustainable resources and green technology, and protecting our valuable resources and ecosystems like the Chesapeake Bay. My sincerest congratulations to our newest graduates as you take your next steps towards your bright future and our better tomorrow. Go Terps!
Good afternoon, Maryland. My name is Don Linebaugh, and I'm the very proud interim dean of the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. Our fearless graduates leave Maryland prepared to design, develop, plan, and preserve the communities and neighborhoods we call home, creating sustainable, equitable, just, and beautiful places where we live, work, and play. In just the last year, and I think you'll like this, Vice President Gore, our amazing students rocked it at the U.S. Department of Energy's Solar Decathlon. The Maryland team took second place overall and first among all U.S. competitors, designing a building that demonstrates innovative approaches to sustainable housing. In the Urban Land Institute competition for urban design, our fearless Maryland students took second place in a field of over 100 universities defeating some of those little schools like UC Berkeley, Harvard, and Michigan. Most recently, in the HUD Innovation and Affordable Housing Competition, our team took first place with a sensational design scheme for providing beautiful and affordable housing. And finally, our undergraduate architecture graduate, who is here today, I hope, Josh Tursky, built the student organization TERPS Against Hunger, which won the Do Good Challenge and has packed over 2 million meals for food insecure folks during his leadership. So will the award-winning, innovative, and compassionate students of the School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation please stand and be recognized?
Good afternoon. I'm Bonnie Thornton-Dill, Professor of Women's Studies, and honored to be Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities, affectionately known as RHU. Now, as Michelle Sauer already demonstrated, our students who are graduating from our college have already demonstrated their fearlessness because they have chosen to major in fields where parents might have said, "What are you going to do with that degree?" But what they know now is that they have the skills and talents employers seek in the 21st century because they write well, they read critically, they listen actively, they communicate effectively, and they think creatively. They are culturally aware and linguistically adept. They are world-wise and civically educated. And because they are all of these wonderful things, those parents who were worried, 95% of our last year's graduates were placed in jobs, graduate school service programs, or started their own businesses. So graduates of the College of Arts and Humanities, you have a lot to be proud of, and if you are RHU, please stand up and give yourselves a big round of applause. Congratulations.
I'm Greg Ball, Dean of the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences that we call BSAWS. Will the graduates of BSAWS in 2018 please stand? President Lowe, what are the greatest problems facing our world today? Poverty, wealth inequality, crime, racism, terrorism, mental illness, human-made environmental problems, political dysfunction, social dysfunction of all sorts, and cultural anomie. Who, I ask you, is going to help us solve these problems? And I present to you the graduates of BSAWS, because what we study will solve these problems. Congratulations.
I'm Alex Trianis, Dean of the Robert H. Smith School of Business. Would the graduates please all rise? When the School of Business became the Robert H. Smith School of Business, Mr. Smith said, "It is my dream that each student who graduates will be an ambitious dreamer, a courageous risk taker, and a principled ethical leader who will work to make this world a better place." Go make Mr. Smith proud, make us all proud, and be fearless leaders.
Hi. I am Amitabh Varshney, Dean of the College of Computer, Mathematical, and Natural Sciences. Will all the graduates of CMNS please rise? We are the largest college because science is fascinating and expansive. From observing the farthest reaches of the universe to exploiting the tiniest atom, from examining how a planet formed to understanding how its climate is changing, from pushing the limits of computation to understanding life itself. You, our graduates, have made science a fearless idea. To all of our fearless graduates who have dedicated their lives to science, congratulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer King Rice, and I am Dean of the College of Education. Would the graduates of the College of Education please stand and be recognized? As Ms. Gell's speech so eloquently illustrates, the College of Education prepares its graduates to take on one of the most important and consequential challenges of our day: to educate the next generation of global citizens, not only to master subjects like math, language arts, science, and history, but also to achieve much broader goals of contributing to the economic, social, political, and civic fabric of our communities, our nation, and our world. Our graduates will be teachers, counselors, transformative leaders, policymakers, and scholars. They're prepared to be innovators in education and human development research, and they're committed to work that will foster goals of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that will improve opportunities and outcomes for all individuals. We specialize in positive externalities. Graduates, this is an awesome responsibility, but you are prepared to take it on. You have much to be proud of and much to look forward to. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I am Darrell Pines, and I am the Dean of the A. James Clark School of Engineering. Will the graduates of the Clark School please rise and be recognized? President Lowe and Vice President Gore, I present to you the graduates who will answer the call to action from your book, An Inconvenient Truth, to engineer solutions to climate change and make our planet more sustainable. By what? By developing novel clean energy solutions like the first ever sustainable wood battery. By also engineering new transportation solutions like Elon Musk's Hyperloop, where yes, the University of Maryland came in 5th place and 2nd in the United States, ahead of a small school in Massachusetts called MIT. And yes, by engineering net zero off-the-grid homes, as Don from architecture mentioned, we did not just come in 2nd place last year. We came in 2011 first in the world with Watershed. We will engineer new solutions. And finally, these engineers will be fearless, and they will impact the world and make it a better place. Congratulations, graduates. And one last personal note. I just want to, since I have the mic, I want to congratulate my daughter, Kalela Pines, out of CMNS, who is graduating today. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Boris Lushniak. I'm the Dean of the School of Public Health. Will public health graduates please arise? Now, it's no big secret here that, in fact, health is really the key component of our society. So right now, health. What's health all about? Health is about the physical component. Everybody in the audience, stretch a little bit. We've been sitting for a while. Stretch, get those muscles moving. It's about mental health. Everyone quiet down for a little bit. Cherish this moment, the beauty of us gathering as a TERP family to celebrate our graduates. It's about social health. Hug somebody or handshake somebody around you. President Lowe, you and I do this. Everyone out there. So public health, it's about preventing disease and injury. It's about promoting health and well-being, and it's about prolonging a high quality of life. Let's take on those challenges. Let's fearlessly take on those challenges, realizing that ahead of us are many things. The opioid crisis, a public health challenge? Yes. Can we do something about it? Yes. Climate change, the climate crisis, is it a public health crisis? Yes. Can we do something about it? Yes. Gun violence, is it a public health crisis? Yes. Can we do something about it? Yes. Graduates of the School of Public Health, be bold and do good. Fearlessly do good.
Good afternoon. My name is Keith Marzullo, and I'm the Dean of the College of Information Studies, Maryland's iSchool. Will the iSchool students please stand up and be recognized? Our iSchool students have learned how to delve the sea of data that are around us and take that data to information, to action. Our students have learned how to use technology, advanced technology, and shape it for the betterment of humanity. Our students have learned about people, how to help both individuals and increase societal good. And our students go off and do great things, be them librarians, or be them user experience designers, or be them digital forensic specialists. Go do good. Congratulations, iSchool students.
Good afternoon. I'm Lucy Dalglish, Dean of the Philip Merrill College of Journalism. Would the graduates of Mighty Merrill College please stand up and make a lot of noise? Ladies and gentlemen, these young journalists have spent the last few years learning to illuminate their communities and speak truth to power. Merrill College graduates are taught to seek the truth and report it fairly, ethically, legally, and independently. Folks, nothing these folks do is fake. Over the past year alone, Merrill students have won numerous national awards for writing stories about asthma rates in poor neighborhoods in Baltimore. They have produced documentaries about the opioid epidemic in Maryland. They have designed award-winning data visualizations about pedestrian traffic deaths in Maryland. They have used words, data, and pictures to bring you the information you need to make your family safer and healthier, to make enlightened decisions at the ballot box, to make you laugh, and to make you cry. Please join me in congratulating these fearless young journalists.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Orr, and I'm the proud Dean of the School of Public Policy. I ask that the graduates of public policy, including our very first class of undergraduates, please rise and be recognized. Graduates, you have spent your time here honing your policy and governance skills, broadening your thinking, and delving into real-world problems. You have not waited to graduate to make your impact, but have already rolled up your sleeves, and just in your time here, you have helped to implement the Paris Agreement on climate change by building bottom-up action and international support when our national leadership faltered. You have innovated solutions and created dynamic new organizations to fill food deserts, end gender-based violence, welcome immigrants, and ensure our senior citizens can get up when they fall. You have helped to draft important legislation from Annapolis to Washington, D.C., and all the way to New Delhi, India. And you have defended the integrity of every American's vote through enhanced election cybersecurity and bold civic engagement. Every day and in every way, you are making democracy work. Policy TERPS, I can't wait to see what you're going to do with those new degrees. Congratulations.
I'm Steve Fitter, Interim Dean of the Graduate School, which will celebrate the 100th anniversary of its founding later this year. Will all students receiving master's degrees from all schools and colleges please stand? The master's degree recognizes advanced study in an academic discipline or professional practice. You've demonstrated advanced knowledge and skills in analysis or professional application, and the ability to solve complex problems, think rigorously and independently, and perform at a high level. You've demonstrated mastery in your field and profession. Congratulations. Will all students receiving doctoral degrees from all schools and colleges please stand? You are receiving the highest degree offered by the University of Maryland. The PhD is what defines us as a research university. You spent long hours in a laboratory, in libraries and archives, and hunched over a computer. You demonstrated the ability to do independent and original research and scholarship, and to create new knowledge. You are now an expert from whom other researchers and scholars will learn. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I'm William Cohen, Dean for Undergraduate Studies. The Office of Undergraduate Studies runs programs that reach every student on this campus. We oversee the Honors College, College Park Scholars, the Academic Achievement Programs, Letters and Sciences, and many other offices that extend across the whole university, including the General Education Program through which all undergraduates take classes in a variety of subject areas. Today, we recognize those graduates for whom the 90 majors offered at this university did not suffice. These fearless students designed their own rigorous interdisciplinary majors in the Individual Studies program. Would the bachelor degree recipients in Individual Studies majors please rise to be recognized?
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Babak Hamidzadeh, Interim Dean of University Libraries. So you're probably wondering who I'm going to call to stand up. Here's who. would all the students who ever went to the libraries or used library resources anywhere or should have done so, please rise? That should cover just about everybody. At the university libraries, we consider all of you our students. So please give yourself a big round of applause and congratulations.
Thank you, Deans. Great to see all the energy and enthusiasm that you bring to this university and that you instill in your graduates. So now we come to the most important moment, the moment when you are authorized to receive your degrees. And in a moment, the provost will come forward. She will describe the scores of degrees that are awarded by this university. You'll be stunned to know how many different kinds of degrees we award. But for the benefit, perhaps, of parents and friends who are here, let me just take a moment to elucidate the true meaning of all of these diplomas. You see, when you're a student, when he or she was in high school, so I'm talking to you graduates, when you were in high school and you thought that you knew everything that there is to know, that is when they give you a high school diploma. Then you come to college. And then you realize that there is so much you do not know. When that realization dawns upon you, that is when we award you a Bachelor's of Arts degree. And then, if you decide to stay in graduate school, and you realize not only do you know very little, but that your professors know very little too. That is when you have earned the PhD degree. After all, what is education but the progressive discovery of our own ignorance? As the poet Yeats once said, education is not the filling of a pail. It is the lighting of a flame, a passion for learning that you will carry with you for the rest of your lives. And if we have done our jobs as teachers, you will be learners for life. So, Provost Ranking, please present the candidates for the degrees.
Mr. President, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculties of the schools and colleges, and in recognition of the successful completion of all degree requirements, I request that you confer upon these extraordinary candidates the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Landscape Architecture, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Music Education, Bachelor of Science, Master of Applied Anthropology, Master of Architecture, Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Chemical and Life Sciences, Master of Community Planning, Master of Education, Master of Engineering, Master of Engineering and Public Policy, Master of Finance, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Health Administration, Master of Historic Preservation, Master of Information Management, Master of Journalism, Master of Landscape Architecture, Master of Library and Information Science, Master of Music, Master of Professional Studies, Master of Public Health, Master of Public Management, Master of Public Policy, Master of Quantitative Finance, Master of Real Estate Development, Master of Science, Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy, as appropriate in each case. Will all candidates for all degrees please stand? Congratulations.
I am pleased to accept the recommendation of the faculty under the authority granted by the State of Maryland to the Board of Regents, and by the authority that the Board of Regents has delegated to me, I am pleased to confer upon you the degrees in each of your cases. Congratulations. You may be seated. I now call on Kirk Bell, President of the University of Maryland Alumni Association, to welcome our new graduates as new alumni.
Thank you, President Lowe. Good afternoon. It truly is an honor for me to be here and officially welcome you, the class of 2018, into the Maryland alumni family. I feel such a sense of Maryland pride to be able to address you here today at my alma mater, where I created my own TERP legacy. My daughter Megan graduated in 2016 from here. My son Ryan just finished up his freshman year. And today, my son Connor is sitting out there with you guys today. Congrats to you, Connor. Beginning today and for the rest of your life, you will be part of an amazing network of powerful, successful, civic-minded, hardworking alumni. We are more than 361,000 strong. TERPS have risen to the highest levels of their industries, launched hugely successful companies, served in government, and for nonprofits, and made groundbreaking discoveries. You too will leave a path to greatness for others to follow. But the fun is just beginning. The Alumni Association is here to help you. And I want you guys to listen to this, all right? Because when I graduated, I was like, oh, now what am I going to do? You don't know what you're going to do? I'm going to tell you what you're going to do, all right? You're going to stay active. You're going to stay active through professional networking and social and service events. You're going to stay informed through university publications like TERP Magazine and our alumni newsletter, The Shell. You're going to stay connected with Maryland and with the friends you made on campus. As you leave here, the first thing I ask you to do is find the Alumni Association on Facebook and like our page. You can also follow us on Twitter at Maryland_alumni. I know it's a little cheesy, but you got to put the plugs in to make you come back a little bit. Be sure to visit the Alumni Association website at alumni.umd.edu to join as a member and find information on events, activities, and local alumni networks. Display your degree proudly. Demonstrate to the world the high-quality education your degree represents. In turn, Maryland will continue to make you proud to be a TERP. And I leave you guys with a few words here. Over the last 4 years, you've given everything you've had to this university. But I promise you this, if you continue to give to the University of Maryland as you leave here today, Maryland will never stop giving back to each and every one of you. So no matter where you go in life, always stay fearless. Congratulations, go Terps, and I'll see you at homecoming.
Thank you, Kirk, for your leadership of our Alumni Association. Now, I would like to call out all the graduating seniors who are on the platform to please come up, please come forward, to lead our graduates in the long-standing tradition that recognizes the receipt of your degrees. So, AJ, would you lead the students in this special rite?
Yes. So I was just informed that we can't be true graduates without the ceremonial switch of the tassel from right to left. So if the graduating class of 2018 could please rise. And so on 3, we're going to switch the tassel. If I could get a drum roll, please. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations on your degrees. Please be seated now. Now, to all the parents, other family members, and friends who are here, let me see all those who attended the University of Maryland. If you attended the University of Maryland, would you please stand up? Wow. I think that's about 1/3. So what do we do about the other 2/3? By the authority vested in me as president, today I declare you honorary TERPS. In a few moments, Zaida Culpepper Baldwin and the Wind Ensemble will lead us in the singing of the alma mater. But I would like to lead you not in the singing because I cannot carry a tune, but by reciting the words of the alma mater. Because we are all TERPS today, including all the honorary TERPS. So when I raise my arm, I want you to yell as loudly as you can to make the walls of Xfinity Center shake. I want you to yell, Maryland. Not yet. Hail, alma mater, hail to thee. Steadfast in loyalty, we stand for love for the black and gold. Deep in our hearts we hold, singing thy praises forever throughout. Go TERPS, go! So we come to the conclusion of the 2018 Spring Commencement exercises. And I would like to ask the audience to please remain seated until the faculty and the platform party has recessed. Now, this is, Vice President Gore was asking me whether each of the graduates will cross the stage and shake hands. And I said, Vice President will be here until midnight. So instead, for those who are interested, I will be at the Xfinity Pavilion. You know, that's the small court where volleyball is played and so forth. At the pavilion, I will be there and will be delighted to shake your hand. We can do a selfie together. If your parents want to come, they're welcome to come. And that will be an opportunity for me to also give you, if you don't have one yet, and certainly to your parents, a little turtle pin. Pardon me? That is coming. Because that will be the equivalent. I know a lot of you have walked across the stage in your college commencement exercises, but that gives me a chance to shake the hands individually of those graduates who wish to come. And I do that because I remember when I was the dean of a college, and I always look forward to commencement because I actually got to shake the hands of every single graduate. And I remember, this was many years ago, when an alumnus came up to me and said, "Do you remember me? You shook my hand when I graduated from the school 20 years ago. And you whispered something in my ear that's been the secret to my success in life." Oh, so what did I say? You leaned over and you said, "Move along, move along." I will not say that. I will simply give you a pin. And I thought I will conclude by sharing with you, and especially for the benefit of the parents and friends and other family members who are here. Every year, you know, I'm on Twitter, at President Low, and I ask the seniors to tweet in 6 words, in exactly 6 words, what their experience has been. And I promise them that I will read some of them at commencement. And I think you, as parents and friends and family, would find it informative, because this is what they wrote. I will just mention them by first names in order not to embarrass them. Catalina, unbelievable and unforgettable learning experience. Anita, I explored, I learned, I transformed. Brianna, discovered my passion for public health. Monica, became fearlessly empowered, first-generation immigrant. Shraddha, the best home away from home. Brooksley, challenging, rewarding, yet worth it all. Mitchell, best 4 years of my life. By the way, Mitchell, if you're here, I believe that the best years of your life are still in front of you. Jesse, my life and outlook changed forever. And let me conclude with this plaintive tweet from Sarah. Why are you making me leave? Well, Sarah, let me answer your question by quoting the immortal words of my favorite philosopher, Dr. Seuss, who wrote for children of all ages. Oh, the places you'll go, you're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. I'm not quoting here, but sadly, of course, it is true. We all know that along the way, hang-ups can happen. There will be times when your right foot trips up your left foot, when your arms get sore, when your sneakers leak. But always remember, you are a TERP. The terrapin is that small creature that you find in the waterways in the mid-Atlantic that has this unique characteristic that it can only walk forward, it does not walk backwards. And how does that turtle go forward? One step at a time, sticking its neck out. To be a TERP is a state of mind. To be a TERP is to be fearless. It's about moxie. It's about grit. It's about chutzpah. So to go back to quoting Dr. Seuss, will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. God bless you, and Godspeed. Would you please stand? And for the singing of the Alma Mater. And after the singing of the Alma Mater, please remain standing silently for the retiring of the colors.
To thee, Maryland, steadfast in loyalty, for thee we stand. Love for the black and gold, deep in our hearts we hold, singing thy praise forever throughout the land. Congrats, you guys! Congratulations!